keep that energy going, guys. After you graduate and you can't be a part of student liberty groups anymore, there is hope. There are libertarian parties in every single state across this fine nation, and today we've got the chair of the Libertarian Party of Ohio here to talk to you. Give it up for Mr. Kevin Knedler, everybody.
Give me an F! No, I'm not going to do that. I was born in the 50s, and I know what the fish cheer is. Yesterday, I was on YouTube. I actually know what YouTube is. Forget about the suit. I may work in corporate America, but by God, I'm a libertarian. And that's the message I'm going to try to tell you today. But back to yesterday, I was looking at YouTube, and I punched up Country Joe McDonald, and he had the fish cheer at Woodstock, August 1969. Just a little bit too young to have gone there. Just a little bit. And graduated in '72 from high school. So Vietnam was the thing. Let me tell you about that song. Way down yonder in Vietnam. Way on yonder in Iran. Way on down yonder in Afghanistan. Replace the words. The message is the same. This bullshit has got to stop in this country. Do you agree? Yeah. Now, I'm all for government. We have to have government and a rule of law. We must have that. But there has to be a balance with freedom. My first president was Eisenhower. And as he left office in January of 1961 to hand it over to President Kennedy, he talked about the military-industrial complex. If you don't know what that is, you are living it. It's called the military-industrial corporatist policy that we have today. We have two gangs of thugs. I'm reading Jesse's book. You have two gangs of thugs, and we're caught in the middle. It's like, the wolves in the kitchen and we're the sheep in the next room. Who's representing the middle of America? That's all we hear about. Well, the Libertarian Party has been representing the middle of America for years. So you've got the gangs of thugs, industrialists, corporatists, special interests, and that's all they care about. And that's why the Libertarian Party is so near and dear to my heart. Because we're all on a journey. And now I'm going to get into a little more seriousness. We're all on a journey. My journey started in 1992, probably, with that funny guy from Texas named Ross Perot. He had those $3 charts that talked about the fiscal Armageddon that we're heading for. Well, Mr. Perot was wrong. It's worse. These knuckleheads that run our country, and to some extent our state, have bankrupted us. And I may not experience the end of the monetary system, but many of you will if we don't fix this. So you're on a journey too. We're all on a journey. It depends on where you are. So 1992, I got involved. I voted for Ross Perot, and let me tell you what happens when you go in the ballot box and you vote for something other than the two corporatist parties from the 19th frickin' century. They've been around since the 1800s. Good God. I mean, 8-tracks are gone, right? I mean, passenger train service is not like it used to be. Stagecoaches are gone. Yet we still have two entrenched political parties. Okay? So in 2005, I went to my first Libertarian meeting. I got off the couch, and I'm encouraging every one of you in here, I don't care if you're 16, 18, 22, or 92, get off the couch. I got off the couch and I went to a meeting. And they said, and I had my Republican friends told me all about the Libertarians, pot-smoking, knuckleheads, and all this stuff. They're freaking idiots anyhow. But I went to this meeting, and when I left, they said, as I was leaving, they said, what do you think? I said, you guys are all sane. You're not nuts. So I got involved in the Libertarian Party. A couple years later, became state chair. We all have a natural or God-given talent. You've got to believe this, everybody. You've all got a talent. Something that you can offer your family, your country, your state, your work, and even politics. as nasty as it is. Whether you can Google or email, or you're good with IT, or you're good with communication, there's something you can offer the Libertarian Party. I have one talent. I'm probably one hell of an organizer. And I had a vision. And so all those hours, all those weeks, months, and now years later, frankly, I'm going to cry. We were here 4 years ago, there were 75 people here. I mean, there's 10 times that now here today. We're growing. You know, our focus of the Libertarian Party in the last 6 years has been building the organization, building the team, putting the right people in the right spots. If I have a toothache, I'm not going down to the car lot to get it fixed. I'm going to a dentist. We had to shake it up. We had to fire people, and yes, I like firing people. I had to. We had to move things around, we had to get things shook up, and we rebuilt the Libertarian Party. We've had to fight for ballot access. Hey, we've got to sue the state of Ohio. 3 Secretary of States in a row we've had to sue. And we've won all of them. I'm just getting fired up. But, you know, suing the Secretary of State can be fun. You know why it's fun? Because there's something called the Constitution, and there's something called the First Amendment, freedom of speech. The freedom of speech that goes to the ballot box, the freedom to be able to vote for a candidate that you want to vote for, not be held back by the 2 gangs of thugs that would put in restrictive laws, hurdles, frivolous lawsuits, you name it, and I'm going to call them out. The Republican Party has done this all over the country this year, trying to prevent libertarians from being on the ballot. And if you're a Republican, you need to ask yourself why they would do that. Well, they're desperate. They see what's coming, my friends. The demographics are libertarian. We want to be left alone. Yes, we need laws, we need rule law. But enough's enough. We don't need the Republicans telling us what's going on in our bedroom is okay or not okay. It's none of their damn business. And we don't need the Democrats bankrupting us as they're doing today. But you know what the dirty secret is? I'm not even close to being a Republican. Social issues, no way. Let's look at economy issues. What do? What do the Republicans do? They give tax breaks to the rich, cuts the taxes, they don't cut the spending, and we actually go in debt even worse. George Bush had total control, tripled the national debt. President Reagan, that was my president, doubled the national debt. It took 192 years to go the first $1 trillion in debt. We're knocking that out in 8 months now. Good God, I'm scared shitless what I'm going to do when I retire in a couple of years. I'm scared of not only the debt, I'm scared of hyperinflation. You need to start doing your homework, my friends. You need to start asking these candidates the tough questions. All of us, again, are on this journey, and I want to recognize some people that have joined me in this journey over the last few years. Anybody that's in leadership from Hamilton County Libertarian Party, please stand up. Anybody in the state party that's involved, stand up. Everybody stand up. Anybody that's a candidate for the Libertarian Party, stand up and remain standing. And finally, the Gary Johnson campaign, let's give it up for him. Raise your hand. The bottom line is we're all Johnny Appleseeds. We're planting some seeds, not marijuana. I can be funny if I want to. A couple of beers, 1982 in a grocery store. Okay. And it was a checkout clerk. It wasn't somebody, it was, never mind. Okay. True story. We are the Johnny Appleseeds of liberty. There it is. We're planting those seeds, and we hope to see those trees grow, prosper, and bear fruit. Some of us have to rely on faith, and I will be one of those. I'm almost 60. I have to rely on faith because I'm out there doing everything I can. I I may never see that tree bear fruit. Okay? I hope I do. It's up to you. If you're under 35, there is no possible way I can even believe that you could even consider these two parties that have bankrupted us. I've said it 4 times. That's all there is to it. You've got to think out of the box. Thank God the Republicans didn't act back in 1979 like they act against us with ballot access, because they only want 1 or 2 parties. You know, think about it. Republicans have been in charge back in 79. We wouldn't have Honda in America in Marysville, Ohio, where I grew up, Union County. Yeah, we wouldn't have that because we'd be locked into Ford and Chrysler, maybe GM. You know, we only have 2 kinds of colas. After all, what are we? We're the uncola. We're not Coca-Cola. We're not Pepsi. We're Trader Joe's. We're Whole Foods. We're not Kroger's. We're not Walmart. We're another choice, as Nick said so eloquently. That was very good. But our eyes are wide open. Everybody on the team, when I sit down with them, bring them on board, I tell them we're small, we're growing, we're a new startup business, but look at the demographics. Get in on the ground floor. And their eyes light up and they say, sign me in. Put me in a game, coach. I've heard that before. Well, the alternative is to continue the 2 corporatist parties, or to put our heads in the sand, bend over and say, no, ouch. Maybe. We just can't tolerate it any longer, can we? We can't tolerate what's happened to the country. We have to have freedom, and I think that's one of the reasons that the party is growing so much, is because we are all about freedom. We're about freedom at home, freedom to make choices, but to also be responsible, be held accountable for those choices we make. We're also all about living within our budget. There's nothing wrong with giving a helping hand to people, but we also have to make sure we don't bankrupt everybody else doing it. And that's where the Libertarian Party really is the party of the middle. So I'm asking you, where are you on this journey? Are you with us on the journey? There's a gentleman I'm going to introduce. Is he here? Okay, good. Let me make sure. I got lost on campus. It wasn't pleasant. I'm from Columbus area. There's another gentleman that's been on a journey for a number of years. He's an elected official, 2-term governor of New Mexico. Got elected twice. Ran it as a Libertarian. He'll tell you the story. But he's also a small business operator. He actually created jobs. Because after all, the government doesn't create jobs. Individuals and businesses do. And with that, I want to give you Garrett Johnson.